being a stay-at-home mom, and especially when you're bringing in no income or very little, can be frustrating and difficult. I remember when I became a stay-at-home mom, it was a bit difficult for me to even participate in budgeting for our family, because I was feeling like I didn't deserve a say in how finances were being handled in our home. But when I discovered that there are many ways you can contribute to your home, especially financially, without necessarily having cash, it boosted my confidence, and that helped me. Now, this episode is for you if you are in that space, and I believe you will be encouraged by the tips I will be giving in here. But just before that, welcome to Thriving Moms Hub, where we thrive in family, finances, and even in faith. And as I've always said, we are currently looking at finances. So if you're interested in being part of this community, please subscribe and look out for new episodes every Saturday at 8 p.m. So let's get started on how you can contribute to your finances in the family without necessarily having cash. Number one is saving by avoiding waste, managing resources, and even being creative. Now, the advantage you have as a mom is, one, you have time, and you're the one who is doing the management of resources in your household. So you can avoid waste. If it is food, you can plan well for the meals. If it is things like soap, things like electricity, things like water, you can reuse some of these things and make sure they are not being wasted. You can be creative even in toys for your children, even in clothes. Let me just give you an example of some of the things I did for my baby, especially for this holiday. I created some shapes for her using cartons, right? And she's loving them. I'd actually planned for her to start using them over the holiday, but she's already enjoying them. These are just old cartons I used, and I did toys for her. Now, we don't need to go and buy toys, shapes rather, because I've already made them, and I'm working on more things for her to have fun without us having to use money. So you can be creative. And if you're wondering what do I do with what I have, we have internet. You can go and check some of the do-it-yourself items you can do with the resources you have. If you have old cups, you have old bottles, you have old bottle tops, you have old cartons like I had, and more, all right? The other thing you can do as a mom is being a strong support system for your husband. Now, when your husband is going out to, work, either in his office or in his business, he'll find a lot of pressure wherever he'll be, maybe from colleagues, maybe from clients, or wherever. So when he comes home, he needs peace of mind. He needs to find you as a place where he can offload. If he's stressed, he can talk to you, or he'll just find rest, right? So it shouldn't be like when he comes home. I know at times it's difficult, especially if your husband is the only adult that you will get into contact with for a whole day and you just want to tell him everything. Oh, the baby did this and this happened. But they should find the home as a place of rest, somewhere they can find peace. So be that for your husband. Make sure he'll find food, warm food. If he needs, his clothes are ironed, his shoes are well kept, he'll be at ease at home, and make yourself available for him to share with, okay? If you have not been doing it before, now you have to start learning how to let him say, just ask, how was your day? Anything conspicuous, anything happened that maybe stressed you, find creative ways on how to get to know how his day was, and that way, as he offloads, he knows he'll now go back to work feeling refreshed and ready to conquer. That way you'll have contributed to his performance out there in the workplace, okay? Yeah, so that is another way. Another way you can contribute is by having financial literacy and networking. Now, when you get financial literacy, that will help your family as you're sitting down maybe to budget. You've gotten budgeting tips, you've discovered places you can save your money, you've discovered how you can invest the money for your family. Such simple things is helping your family in the finances, because if you do not know good investment options, and then you leave your husband and he just goes and invests the money anywhere anyhow, and he loses the money, as a family you have lost the money. So don't leave it all to your husband. Find ways on how you can contribute to in financial literacy. All right, and even networking, finding other moms just like you are probably now in this community, to communicate, to get to know how people are doing it, how people are working in the finances for their household. All right, yeah, so financial literacy is very important. Don't leave it just for your husband. Even if you're not bringing in money, please be financially literate. The other thing you can do as a mom is actively participate in the family finances. Now, as I've said, at first it was very difficult for me to even continue with budgeting, because before, of course, because I have financial background, that is what I studied, I was, like at the forefront in budgeting and following up. But now it became a bit difficult for me, not because my husband had any issues with that. He's always appreciated my contribution in, all this budgeting and all. But now I was feeling inadequate. But it is important for you to participate, because if you're the one who has more financial literacy and you leave your spouse to handle and things don't work, then the whole family suffers. So be present, even if it is just on sitting down and budgeting, getting to involve your family in knowing how you're going to plan meals, and even things like school fees, following up, even if you have budgeted on, following up to know what the bills paid, was the water bill paid, was the electricity paid. Those simple follow-ups, they might look like they're very small contributions, but it is very important, because if water is not paid for, then when it is disconnected because of the bill, then the whole family suffers, right? Yeah, so be active, be involved. Remind them, oh, by the way, we had budgeted for this amount for school fees. Have you sorted it? We had budgeted for this and this, maybe insurance, we had budgeted for this. Did you remember to sort it? Not in a nagging way, but just be involved, so that things don't crumble and then you start blaming the other person while you stood on one side and just watched things crumble. The other way you can contribute into your financial pool, into your family's financial pool without money, is by building skills that can later turn into income. Now, because you have the advantage of time as a mom, you can start building on skills, right? You look at what you're gifted in. What do you think you can do later? Maybe your child now is very young and you might not be able to do much, maybe business-wise, or even go back to work, but you have the advantage of time. There are many free courses online. You can go online and start studying. On YouTube, there are a lot of people who are offering free education. You might not get certification, but those skills will help you. Things like learning how to bake, learning how to maybe crochet. These things might look very minimalistic and all, but those tips can help you in future to earn some income. So get to learn skills at this season when you are not contributing at all, but you still have a lot of time in your hands. For sure, I know being a mom is not easy and you have a lot of work, but once you start having routines, I hope we will be able to do an episode on routines, because once I discovered routines, it helped me free my time, and that is how I started doing the things I am currently doing. So you have the advantage of time. Learn new skills. The other way you can contribute as a mom is by raising financially literate children. Now, even at a very young age, children can learn some financial tips. Things as simple as we cannot always buy what we want. My baby is still very young, but she knows it's not every time we go to the shop she has to get a yogurt or a sweet or a balloon. She's still very young, but I have started teaching her that it's not always that we go to the shop and you have to get something for fun, right? in the same way, you can teach, depending on the age of your child, you can teach them how to save if you're already giving them some amount of allowance, right? You can teach them how to earn money if they are at that age. That way you'll be contributing. It is very indirect, but you're already contributing, because as they grow up, when they are financially literate, they will impact not just those closest to them, but even their own families in future. When they get married and they have children, they will pass it on to another generation, right? And another way you can contribute is by praying for your family. Now, prayer might look like a very not so important thing, like, is that really me, contributing financially? But it is. When you pray for the blessings of your husband's job or his business, then you're contributing indirectly to his finances, because at the end of the day, we should always remember that these things, either it's a business or a job, is just a channel that God is using to provide for us. God is our ultimate provider. He is our source. These things, and that's why maybe a job can come and go and you still keep moving, because the job is not your source, it is God. So pray for the blessings of your family's finances, even praying for wisdom, praying that God guides you on what to do so that you can start earning. Just keeping your family in prayer is another way you can contribute indirectly to your family financial pool. And I hope with that you are encouraged as a mom. Get your confidence back. If you're feeling like you don't have to contribute and participate in your family's finances, please do. I've given you some 7 tips, but you can contribute in other ways. If you know other ways you can contribute, please go to the description, go to the comments, and give us some more tips as a mom. What are you doing that is helping the financial pool of your family without necessarily having money? Because that will help another mom. That will help me as well, because I am a mom that is not currently in a formal job. So yeah, thank you for watching to the end. I hope you have been blessed. I hope to see you in the next episode. For now, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and share this episode with another mom, especially a stay-at-home mom, and have them feel encouraged. Otherwise, God bless you so much, and see you in the next episode.